You are headed to Norman, Oklahoma on Saturday for the first SEC game for the Sooners. And guess who's coming back? Former Oklahoma QB Josh Heupel and his Tennessee Volunteers, who last we checked were just demolishing Kent State, destroying NC State, basically laying waste to everything in their path. How excited are you for this?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, in terms of storylines for a regular season game, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. The first SEC situation at home in Norman, obviously at the Heupel angle, but also, too, let's not forget that we have two former five-star quarterbacks who have unbeaten teams playing against each other in their first SEC matchup.
Jackson Arnold Nico.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold and Nico is going to be pandemonium. So I am very high on Tennessee. I was probably a doubter coming into it a little bit this year, but watching Tennessee just roll over teams, even when Nico doesn't fill up the stat book, has been pretty inspiring. I think they have one of the best running backs in the country who we had the pleasure of dancing with last week.
Dylan Sampson.
In Knoxville, and Dylan Sampson. And the receivers are really good. I mean, we're talking about a team that, had a over-under of, I believe, 62.5 on Saturday and covered it by themselves in the first half. So they're rolling. On the flip side, Oklahoma has been struggling a little bit. So, it kind of seems to me that this is an important time for Oklahoma, too, to assert itself as a team that people shouldn't be looking past. So we have a lot of storylines, a lot of angles. I kind of wish you were coming with me because it's going to be a lot to cover. But
I don't know if I should. I think it's the combination of us. So
yes.
For those who have not paid attention to our travels this year, the games that we have attended in person: Miami at Florida, Texas at Michigan, Alabama at Wisconsin. What do all those things have in common? The home team got rolled. So I want this to be a competitive, fun game. I want both teams to have a chance, and I'm worried that the two of us together cause that to not happen. So let's make sure that I stay far away and we get a good competitive game here, because I can't wait. The Nico Jackson Arnold matchup is so much fun. So Jackson Arnold, let's look at his stat line against Tulane: 18 to 29 for 169 through the air. He had a touchdown pass and a pick, which was a little scary there. 14 carries for 97 yards and 2 TDs as well. Like, this guy is a lot of the offense.
We're talking about somebody who a lot of people thought was a dark horse for the Heisman this year, Andy. So, this is not the Jackson Arnold performance, the pick six that he threw there late in the third quarter, I think, or early fourth quarter, to bring it into a one-possession game. That was a tough look. So, in a quarterback matchup where you're going to be facing one of the best young players in the entire sport, it's an important time for Oklahoma to show up, because they don't really have to win this game in terms of the playoff. I think that they could lose a close one and continue on and still be in the mix, but you can't get rolled on your home field in your first SEC game ever.
I don't think they're going to. I'm very excited for these two defenses, because I don't know that we've seen Nico against a defense like this. We expected NC State would be okay. I don't know how good NC State's defense is. We'll see. But we do know Oklahoma's got a bunch of playmakers on that defense. We saw Billy Bowman, make that interception off the deflection on Saturday night. Danny Stutzman. These are guys that are going to make some things happen. And then we've also seen Tennessee's defense make some stuff happen. We know about James Pierce, maybe the best edge rusher in the country, but they had the pick six against NC State. They feel like they've got the best defense they've had since Josh Heupel got there. And I think they may be right. Now, but let's talk about the Josh Heupel of it all, because this situation has fascinated me. He doesn't really talk much about Oklahoma. He will handle it probably in a very kind of straight ahead. Yeah, I played there. Yeah, I coached there. I cherished my time there. But he's not going to say much else. But here's the deal. He's still mad. He's still mad about getting fired after the 2014 season as the offensive coordinator. And he's not been warm and fuzzy with Oklahoma. He's not wanted to come back for anything. It's not the fault of Oklahoma now by any stretch, because it was Bob Stoops who fired him. He winds up hiring Lincoln Riley, which it turned out to be the right move for Oklahoma. But it was just a tough situation. And Heupel's still mad, and I think he's allowed to feel however he wants to feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in that situation before, but it's a place that you're supposed to love.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel bad for people who experience those types of things from places that matter a lot to them, especially considering Heupel is a pretty important player in Oklahoma lore. So, yeah, it is kind of like the saying, the best revenge is success and happiness. And, I think that Heupel, though a lot of people weren't excited about his hire in Knoxville, really turned out to be the right coach for them. And, we're on the verge here of potentially having a second special season in 3 years at a program that had been down for a long time. And I'm talking about a team that can beat Alabama when they play, a team that can be in this SEC mix, and I think is going to make the playoff.
Yeah, and I do think, I actually can't wait till he takes the field, because I think Oklahoma fans are going to welcome him warmly. I'm not being sarcastic here.
I think they should. Yeah.
I think they're going to cheer. Joe Castiglione, the athletic director, has talked about this. They're going to be as classy as humanly possible in terms of the school itself and the administration, the way they handle it. But Josh Heupel, he wants to go in there and stand on business the way that Eli Drinkwitz stood on business with him last year.
Yeah, we're going to stand on business. But I think it's probably the most compelling game of the weekend. I'm very excited that it's only a 2-hour drive from my front door, and I cannot wait to get up there and watch this.
This is going to be this is what the Texas and Oklahoma moving to the SEC was intended to create. Games like this, and we're going to see more of them obviously coming up, because Texas has to play Georgia coming up, and Oklahoma is going to play Alabama. So we're going to get these, but this is the first one we've gotten to see in the flesh.
Yes, and I'm excited to be there. It's going to be a piece of Oklahoma history. I will say it's kind of a kick in the knackers that Oklahoma has to open the SEC play without a layup. I mean, this is going to be one of the tougher games on their entire schedule, and you know what? We talk a lot about Nico. We've talked a lot about Tennessee. We haven't really spoken that much about Oklahoma. If they go out there and get a win, then that completely changes the paradigm of how we view the SEC's race. I've got to do bubble watch after the games this week, and I'm not necessarily sure what to do with Oklahoma going into this week. So
now, if you can compete with Tennessee, you can compete for a playoff berth. I think that seems like a fairly easy assumption to make there, and we're going to see where they stack up next week. Thanks so much for watching.
And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a 5-star review.